That's crazy.
Freya!
Hi,
That's
Freya.
so crazy.
Freya!
Freya just like jumped up on the chair. It was like, "What's up? I'm here now."
Freya!
Oh my god, I love Freya.
Oh, you can tell she's
Look
meowing.
at that cat! Oh!
I don't think she loves this, but I don't think it matters.
Oh!
Not about what she wants anymore.
Can't do that with my dog. She has fleas.
Oh no.
Still?
Poor baby.
It's getting better.
Oh, that's good.
It's just...
Hello and welcome to the YASEcast. This is episode number 44. I knew what the number was. I checked it before we started recording. With me today, I have Jarv, who's holding up 4 on each hand to remind me.
Hello,
For what it's
everybody.
worth, I thank you for reminding me. That is
44. What it's
was
worth.
not needed, but damn, that was good. We also got Morgan today,
What's up?
and we have Gord.
Oh, hey, what's up?
And I'm here too. I've been out and about with all sorts of business that cannot be discussed here. But I'm back. Oh my god, I'm so happy to be on the podcast and chatting with you all today. Missed y'all a whole ton.
We missed you too, and we missed you too, Gord.
Hey.
But
That's
big,
nice.
big
Is
shout
it?
outs to host in chief Jarv for holding it down last week. Y'all did a really excellent job. I know I was gushing in our group chat, but yeah,
Appreciate that.
I genuinely
Like to
sat
have
down
a-
and I'm like, I'll just click through and make sure the levels are fine. I'm like, this is really good radio content, and I was late to work that day, but don't tell my boss.
Yeah, I ended up actually listening to it on my drive back from a site, and I was like, this is good. It's a shame Mama Toops can't listen to this one, but that was a good podcast.
I'm sorry, Miss Toopy.
I was gonna say maybe today, maybe this will be the episode, but I feel like if Toops isn't on it, then it can't be the episode.
Nah,
They've
definitely not.
got-
We'll build
yeah,
up
yeah.
to it. We'll
Our episode 50
The
special.
saga.
That'll be. It's just called "This One's for You, Mama Toops." Oh my god! What have y'all been up to?
I have been deep into 2 things.
Okay.
Monster Hunter and Horse Girls. And that's basically been my week.
Monster Horse Girls.
Oh my god, horse girl hunters.
That's a very specific hentai genre.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
I was going to
No
say
one's mama can
something, and then
listen to
I was
this
like,
one
"There's
now.
nothing good can come out of my mouth." So I'm just gonna
Nothing.
I'm just gonna keep it closed.
So you had a filter, I didn't.
Every
No,
once in a
it's,
while, my brain stops me from saying something dumb. It's not often, but like every once in a blue moon.
I don't have that privilege. But yeah, I know we'll probably talk about Monster Hunter a little bit later, but Horse Girls is just really blowing me away. I picked it up because it seems like a lot of us like share a brain cell.
Yeah.
And in like the last week or so, we're like, you know what, that Horse Girl anime looks really good. So I started watching it ironically, and then as tends to happen, there was no irony after a couple episodes, and I'm on like the last episode or 2 of season 2. Season 1, fun, light kind of sports comedy. Pretty cool, pretty fun.
Nice.
Season 2, I'm going to put up there with Ping Pong and
Do not
visceral
no.
depictions. No, you have to watch it. You have to watch it.
my God.
I'm almost done with season 1, but you compare it to Ping Pong, and I'm like,
Let me. I'm gonna pitch something
All
to
right.
you right now because I know that you like
I
ping
love
pong
ping
and I
pong.
like ping pong, and I don't make that comparison lightly. Season 1, it's fun. Girl from the country really likes to run. Season 2 starts off with a focus to a new character who was on the cusp of a legendary triumph and failing. And it's basically a very sad story of athletes at the top of their game failing, having to realize their limits, and gradually fall into decline.
Damn.
And it's a rough watch. I found myself getting like genuinely very emotional over horses.
Can't believe they sent him to the glue factory.
Oh. Don't make that, because so in season 1, one of the characters does break her leg, and since they're all based on horses, she survives. That horse didn't. And when I read the Wikipedia
Oh my
article, I was
God.
like, oh god.
Are
They
you
retcon.
talking about Rice Shower?
Silent Suzaku.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because
Wait, what? I didn't get to that episode yet.
All spoilers.
Why?
You said you were at the end of season 1. That happens way earlier.
Yeah, I'm still watching season 1.
I thought you were past that. Well, all right. Anyway, horse girls are good. That's all I'm gonna say. And Rice Shower is a hero.
Nick, once you finish season 1, and sounds like also season 2, and Jay finishes season 2, I mean, we're gonna have a lot of horse girls content, but I think a horse girls episode is necessary, especially because Rhett's been playing the mobile game. Have you been playing the Gashapon game, Morg?
I have it downloaded, but they haven't released a global version yet, but it seems like it's on the horizon. So I'm just going to wait for the global version for it, but I will be about that.
It looks really funny, I gotta say. Like, just
I
seeing
know.
those horses fucking sprint.
I might bucks for Stromboli Rudolph. Look.
Did you just make that up?
Sometimes, a certain thing hits you in a certain way, and you're just like, the wallet just flies open.
Oh my
No, I
god!
need this
too
very
will buck
specific
for
horse.
Stromboli Rudolph.
Anyway, that's my adventure.
this is the
What's
power of
Stromboli
side
Rudolph
games
in
money.
Grand Blue Fantasy.
This is
This is
the
the
power of side games.
games money.
Oh, it's a side games game.
Yeah.
It's a
That'll
side
do it.
games game,
You
yeah.
see
Yeah,
the
it's
side
side
games
games
load at
game.
the beginning of every episode. You're like, that's right.
Then I am not joking. Put Stromboli Rudolph in GBF. I mean, they did all those like April Fool's jokes. They had fucking Knuckles and Dante and Silver Ash and shit. While we're at it, put a horse girl in fucking Arknights. They already got like other types of animal girls.
There is a
Let me see
horse girl, Neural.
Who's the horse girl?
Neural.
Oh yeah, Neural is like Neural is a horse girl.
Yeah, she's a horse girl.
But I mean, she ain't running.
Also,
She's
Granny.
like tanking.
There's 2 horse girls. Man, I don't even
No,
play that
more on
game
the way.
anymore.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't use Granny. I didn't know she was a horse.
Yeah. Man, April Fool's jokes though. I'm a little bit bitter actually, because I feel like over the course of the past year or two, or at least in the past couple of years, April Fool's has shifted from, hey, look at our dumb joke, to developers making secret stealth pitches to the public to try to hype up something that might be a little bit out of the wheelhouse for a franchise. Like Yakuza 7. Wasn't that really how they debuted that it was going to be a turn-based thing? It was through a April Fool's joke. Or Fighting EX Lair announced on April Fool's Day. Which means Idolmaster Fighting Game is on the horizon. Produced by the Tekken team.
I'm tight that I've seen like 3 fake fighting games this year. I saw that one, Lost Ark, and Fire Emblem Heroes.
And
it's just like everyone just wants to put like your combat animations with a fucking bad health bar and be like, look, we did it. I'm like, I'll call your bluff. Fucking really do it. I'll play these games.
Yeah, I want
Put
them.
GGPO
They're
on it, and
things that
I
I
will
want.
actually play it.
I want to play the Idolmaster Fighting Game where Makoto has an electric wind god fist.
I was wondering who's gonna have electric and who's gonna be all the Mishimos.
Makoto is going to be the Mishima, because there's a off branch of Idolmaster of like 4-panel comic series called Puchimas, and which is basically you have like the Idolmaster character, and then you also have like these like essentially like super chibi-fied versions of those characters, and they actually showed the Makoto Chibi character like training with Heihachi and learning how to do electrics and hell sweeps.
That's deep lore.
Incredible.
That's sick. That's actually
So
sick.
look forward to that. Although I am very glad that one, we got an Idolmaster Fighting Game before Yandere Simulator finished development.
Never gonna happen. It's
And-
never coming out.
Never happening. And also
Never.
that we did get an Idolmaster Fighting Game before the VTuber Fighting Game. So
It's actually impressive now that I think about it.
it actually is impressive.
I can't believe she
VTuber
braced
gotcha
her
when?
leg. Fuck.
Oh no.
Still, I got like 1,000 yard sticker
sorry.
going on.
I'm so
You
sorry.
can't see, but Lamo looks like pretty distraught over this.
I'm so sorry. I thought you were past that point.
We'll have to put like a spoiler note or something at the beginning of the episode.
Oh my god!
That's a
that
really big.
back in the 90s.
That's a really big plot point, though. Like that's a really big deal about this one character breaking their leg. I'm not saying that to be angry, but I'm like,
sort of
damn,
content
like,
warning on this.
Damn.
It feels terrible now.
You're fine. Don't sweat it. Don't sweat it. I'm just gonna be thinking about this and be like, damn, I gotta fucking catch up. Gotta watch Horse Girls, so that Morgan can't spoil anything else for me. No, I'm fucking with you.
Yeah, this is what happens when you ignore the Horse Girls zeitgeist and you decide to go on a work trip or whatever.
Decide
the fuck
to
that you
play
do in your
Xenoblade
life.
Chronicles.
Play old fucking Wii games.
Was it a Wii? No, yeah, it was a Wii game. That's right. That game's good as hell, though.
Yeah, it was.
So I'm actually playing it for the first time. Like I've never played it before. But I remember back in college, one of my friends would play it a lot. But I always kind of like knocked on it because of the voice lines just being very repetitive in the fights. Yeah. You can only hear it's Reyn Time so many times without being like, all right, I need to go do something else. This is not doing it for me. But like, shit, playing it now, that game fucking rules. Like, Battle seems very, like, based off MMOs and kind of inspired by MMOs, which is totally fine. There's actually a lot of, like, different positional attacks, and you can do combos and shit that work with your teammates and things, so nothing too groundbreaking there. Pretty simple stuff. But the story has me absolutely hooked because at different points in time, the main character gets visions of the future. And now sometimes it's very immediate. Sometimes it's like, hey, this person I'm with and the thing we're going to go do, they're going to die if we go and do this. And so that happens to him multiple times throughout the story. And at one point it's like, okay, cool. So I know this is going to happen. So I know that like, I can change the future essentially. And then that kind of gets co-opted into different abilities you can get in fights and things. But it's a really cool mechanic because, so for example, I just saw something that takes place somewhere that I don't know with people that I don't know, but one villain is there and it's like, okay, fuck, like, when does this happen? And it's like, apparently at this point, I gained some ability that lets me actually like fuck them up, which I cannot do at all right now. So it keeps me really wanting. I'm at point A. I know that there is a point B, and I really want to know, how do these two come together? So I'm really, really, really enjoying the storytelling in the game. Really excited to play more of it. It's kind of been my go-to game to play on my work trips. And it's actually kind of funny because like I just got Monster Hunter, but I'll boot up my Switch and I'm like, kind of want to play more Xenoblade instead. I know there's this brand new game that all of my friends are playing, but what about this single player RPG from like almost 10 years ago? Let's play that shit.
How many times are they going to re-release that game? Because that game was a Wii game, and then a 3DS, like a new 3DS XL game or something, and now it's on Switch.
I forgot they put it on the 3DS.
Oh, that's right. It was a 3DS. Yeah.
But yeah,
I think it was like a new 3DS exclusive or something because of the chip.
Yeah, there was some shit weird with that. I don't fucking know. But playing it on the Switch and it rules. And then like once I'm done with this, it might be very hard to not immediately jump into Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So we'll see how I'm feeling.
I think it sounds pretty easy to not play that game. I've heard some stuff about that.
Let me live. Let me live.
All right, I get you. I get you. Pull out the Wii U, bring the Wii U, and get Xenoblade Chronicles X going with your USB keyboard and 3 friends that you don't have playing that game with you. I don't know. That game seemed like it was some like fake PSO.
Oh, there's like there was an really online one.
Yeah, there was like a Xenoblade Chronicle X or something for the Wii U. Morgan, you're right. It was like online. You could party up with 3 other people, and I remember people were grabbing USB keyboards for it.
Is that the one that had It's the one with the robots, right?
Yeah,
the really cool looking transforming mechs to explore the overworld and everything.
Yo.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like we're not selling you on it.
Actually, I'm being sold on it right now. So when you finish Xenoblade Chronicles, I'm going to get a USB keyboard and a Wii U, and we're going to play Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Perfect. This is my plan all along.
All right, this was the real long game. Start a podcast, do 40 odd episodes, get my co-host to play Xenoblade Chronicles X with me.
God, it's crazy that like we're probably probably coming up on a year of the YASEcast.
I think we are coming up on a year now.
Like, I don't remember when the first episode came out, but it's got to be. I mean, I know it wasn't too long after like pandemic, like stay at home. We were all like staying at home for the most part. So, damn. Yeah,
it's become a part of my routine, definitely week to week,
for sure.
Which has been a pretty grounding force. Actually, I know we really started recording this just to have an excuse to hang out, and we've been talking about doing it for ages. So we're like, well, why don't we just do the podcast? And so that was sort of a fun project. And I don't know, it's been a pleasure serving with you all.
Yeah, shit. What was it? I had the date just now.
An honor.
March 13th, 2020. Yeah.
Oh,
hell yeah.
We passed it.
We passed it. We
Wow.
didn't even know. We were just rocking and rolling.
Next year. It's fine.
Yeah, we skip. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we'll put it on the calendar now.
Yeah. Oh my god. Doing this shit for almost
by March 13th, we had what, like 40 episodes, maybe?
Probably
43, 42, something like that.
That's like a pretty decent. There's only 52
Yeah.
weeks in a year, so
Yeah.
I think
Maybe
we did
took
all
some
right.
breaks for
I think
sure,
we just
which
thought-
definitely
yeah,
was
we
needed
should,
at some point.
We need to get somebody to commemorate this occasion. I'm thinking like maybe some matching jackets.
Ooh.
Get some track
Whoa,
jackets.
I want matching jackets.
Let's get some Suki
I would
Johns.
really like to have. Oh, well, first of all, that sounds incredible, but that sounds like it's going to be a lot of money. If we could do like a Yase track jacket
That'd
or
be sick.
something to sell, that would be.
I was
What would
talking
it-
about
the-
new merch recently, but
Yeah.
behind closed doors, some new merch ideas.
I'm feeling
Maybe like the collegiate block letters on like the breast like this, where it just says like Yase, and then on the back it would have to have something stupid.
you'd have to have an SM58 in Scarlet Solo in that monoprice boom.
Oh my god, what if it was a fucking
Rick Owens, Millie rocking with a
houndstooth.
VTuber with Gargura.
I feel like we'd get sued for that. I'm pretty
Yeah, that
sure we
sounds
would
like-
get sued
Hold
for
on.
that.
By
Multiple
who?
people
By
would
Rick
sue us.
Owens or by Gargura?
Both.
Both.
Yeah.
And then they're going to team up on Garura's channel.
To read the C&D out loud.
We're sacrificing Yase for the greatest
To get a
cultural
Rick Owens-
VTuber Rick
crossover.
Owens collab.
To get Rick Owens to collaborate with VTubers,
Yeah.
I'd do it. I would throw you all into a volcano like a Mishima to make that happen.
We would get Tekken.
Damn.
It's fucked up.
I don't want to get Tekken. I like our podcast. And our imaginary
Coming
track
at you
jackets.
live from the bottom of a volcano. It's the YASEcast, episode 45.
Coming at you melted.
Yo,
I mean,
real
that's
melty
some-
blood hour is
Speaking of things that aren't April Fool's jokes, new
Yo,
Melty
how
Blood.
is it real?
How is that
How
real?
is it real?
I remember
I about
heard-
shit myself when I,
I
saw
remember
that.
fucking seeing that while I had I had no data on my phone, and I was just like, okay, everything's taking 10 minutes to load in Discord, but I just have to say, yo, what is going on?
It was and the fact that it's coming out this year
Yeah.
as well, even if there isn't a release date. I mean, that blows my mind to think, oh yeah, Melty Blood, new game, and not even just like a new like Actress Again or Act Cadenza or what have you, but like an actual new game with a new story. Tsukahime remake is actually happening. That feels like a thing that could have been an April Fool's joke.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. But it's not. It's fucking real.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple years ago, that would have been like a real painful April Fool's joke.
Yeah.
It was very painful to get the actual confirmation that one of the things delaying the Tsukahime remake was Fate Go. They're like, well, yeah, it prints money, and that's why the production values are as high as they are in the remake, but also it takes our time to run the money machine, which means that this remake had to be delayed substantially.
The person writing the thing had been writing a lot of Fate Ghost stories, so I guess with I don't know, the current giant story arc thing that Fate's been doing might be winding down to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
They can be like, well, you remember Tsukihime?
Remember this?
Ta-da!
Blue glass moon under the crimson sky?
That sounds anime enough, yeah.
It's pretty anime.
That's anime enough, but also extremely tight moon.
Extraordinarily tight moon.
I did hear that like there was always an interest in doing a new Melty Blood, but they want to release the new Melty Blood or around the time when the new Tsukihime got released. So it's like the reason why we didn't get a new Melty Blood until like now was because Tsukihime didn't like roll out. So
all right, I'm just happy.
That makes sense.
I do love to see it. I know that's a game and a community that has really been very resilient through some shitty memes at their own expense, and it really rules to see that like, now they're going to be in the VIP room.
Yeah.
Now they gonna get the pop bonus.
Rather than being ripped, they're now VIP.
Hey.
That's a bar.
Fucking Street Fighter 5 players gonna be looking real sad with their
Street Fighter 5
Zed costumes. I don't even fucking know.
Now it's gonna be the Melty Blood players in Lap Cheese Limo.
Oh no!
No, Melty Blood players don't go in Lap Cheese Limo.
Oh.
If you see this man,
don't believe his crypto lies.
Oh, Lap Cheese crypto limo. Fuck.
That's my least favorite part of Persona 4.
That's the worst dungeon by far in Persona history.
The Lap Cheese dungeon.
Lap Cheese crypto limo. And that was that was worse too, because in 4 they were all like randomly procedurally like generated dungeons and shit. They weren't like, you know, mapped out.
Fun, bespoke. Yeah.
You're like, Lap Cheese, why does your limo have 5 floors and why does it like go in circles around itself?
Don't worry about it. Be part of the esports ecosystem and you too can find out.
You can get your own crypto limo. Oh, Lord.
That sounds like a pyramid scheme. Much like crypto.
Much like crypto. It all comes back. It's fucking... Did you see the shit with like Teletubbies?
I was in the despair of the hell world.
Yeah.
So it turns out it's an April Fool.
Fucking God.
Thank God. But you can't
announce the day before April Fools. You gotta do that shit on one day.
That's pretty much that breaks the cardinal rule of
exactly.
the April Fool.
Yeah, it wasn't April yet.
Any other day, you just do it on April Fool's Day. But the thing was, it was like they're going to donate $5,000 to some like kids charity, and then every time the tweet is like liked or retweeted, they'll donate another $1. So at least it's like turning into some sort of like charitable donation for kids. But at the same time, some of the crypto fools were like, "Hey man, fuck you! I wanted to buy this shit. I wanted to go ride it to the moon. I got diamond hands.
I wanted to get Tub Coin.
Uh-oh.
I got diamond hands for hugging Tinky Winky."
Do y'all remember? Like, I don't know if it was in the Yace Discord or somewhere else, where it's like, "Hey, did y'all know there was like a full blown like gay panic over Tinky Winky?"
Yes, I was about to bring that up.
That was so fucking weird. That was such a weird goddamn time, and I think it was Rosie O'Donnell's fault.
Many things are.
I think she's the one who started it.
Of course she did, but there is like a
long
history of gay panics and moral panics, and we're in one right now thanks to Montero.
Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, you tell gay people for however many decades that they're going to go to hell. They're going to bottom for Satan eventually. It was just going to happen.
Now you get mad that they're in hell. What the fuck?
And Satan is hot.
I do think it's telling too that one of the lines, like
hell.
Lil Nas X specifically, is like, what is it? A sign of the times. Every time that I speak, is a line in there, just specifically saying like, yeah, like every time I fucking do something, people always be up in their own fucking ass about me and the shit that I'm doing. Like people are always saying it's conservative
it's almost
outrage.
Like, so I've got a theory about that.
Yeah.
And it might be that he is a strong and empowered and confident gay black man. And that is terrifying to some people.
It's like the same shit with Sonic Fox. People lose their shit over Sonic Fox.
I hope Sonic Fox wins the Satan shoes.
Oh my god!
I want to see
same.
Satan Fox.
Satan Fox. Well, don't they have a like an alter furry ego?
I
like,
think
that's
they
not
have like
They
a
do.
Sonic Fox,
yeah, they have like
the
a dark
blood fox or something.
They have
Which
a
means
dark
it-
install. A devil
Yeah,
dragon
they
install.
go into
There you
blood
go.
heat.
I forgot the words.
I'm about
I
it.
haven't played fighting games in a grip, y'all. They got I don't
Who
know
has?
they got a soul bad guy.
It's like one of them's a soul bad guy, and one of them's the Kai Kisk, and it's like compassion is not the same as weakness, soul. The Guilty Gear Xo opening is a gift that we'll always keep giving.
Oh.
Just another day on Savage Earth.
Another day on Savage Earth.
I loaded up Revelator over the weekend too. After having not played it for quite some time, that game still fucking rules. Especially after playing Strive, going back to that, I was like, "Fuck, this just feels nice. Like everything feels like crisp and just fun." I'm not trying to dunk on Strive when I say that, but like, goddamn, I wish Rev
You should've
2
played Potemkin.
was getting. No, why the fuck would I do that?
He's good.
Oh, you're talking about in Strive.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about in Rev
not
2.
in Rev
I
2.
was like-
Don't do that.
I was like,
No.
Morgan.
No, I would not wish that on you. I would not put that evil on the podcast. I would not tell anyone to play Potemkin in Rev 2.
God, I love that game. I wish it was getting the rollback treatment.
Yeah, maybe. They
One
said
day,
that they're
one day.
exploring it.
Keeping my fingers crossed.
With old games. So we'll see Battle Fantasia, and then
Yeah, Batman.
BBCF, and then maybe Rev 2.
And then Guilty Gear Dust Strikers. That might come first.
The H&K.
H&K definitely has to get a rollback release.
Yep.
If oh my god, people would like shit bricks.
They would
for
shit bricks
H&K
and
on
then-
Steam with rollback.
They would chip bricks, and then they wouldn't buy it.
No.
Or they would buy it and play it for like a couple minutes and be like, well, I don't like this actually. I don't
Actually,
think
more
people
important-
actually like HNK. I think they like watching HNK.
I don't even think they like watching. They're just like referencing HNK. And I'm not
Alright, I
trying
need
to say
all
that like I'm
average
not 100%
HNK
the same
enjoyers to
way.
write in.
Because I don't fucking want to play
Hey,
or watch HNK.
I do know someone in Michigan that owns an HNK board and brings it everywhere.
Well, is that the same? Because is that the same Michigan player who's also like stupid good at HNK? Or is that just someone else? I don't remember their name, but I know apparently there's a secret
there's like
HNK
the
lord.
Japanese player.
Yeah.
There's like the Japanese player that moved to Michigan. I'm talking
Yeah.
about a different guy.
Yeah, okay, that's what I was
But
wondering.
he's also like really good. But he's like, some people have called him like the quote unquote purest form of like fighting games. But he's just like learning about fighting games and stuff.
That's some Resident Evil
And
villain shit.
He,
The
I know,
purest
right?
form of fighting games.
It's condensed
Damn.
fighting game spirit.
Damn.
I imagine if you own a board, like you should probably be like a little okay.
I was gonna
Should
say,
be.
I hope the person that owns the HNK board is pretty good at the game. It'd be kind of weird otherwise.
Like,
Yeah,
at least be able to do like a boost dash combo or some like busket.
yeah, definitely. It's for him. It's like his game, and then he also practiced like a billion other games and is like pretty okay at them. Because he just spends a lot of time just enjoys learning how to play fighting games and stuff.
I respect it.
You can do that Naomi backport to Dreamcast shit, right? Can you play H&K on Dreamcast? Well, did that have an actual release on Dreamcast?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I know they did that Naomi like backport thing
I mean,
to
I
Dreamcast, so
think
people were
so,
playing like
like, you can
Rumblefish 2 and
Actually,
stuff.
play on like fight
The,
games.
the only thing that I'm not sure because
Damn.
I think
All right,
I don't think HNK was a Naomi game. I think it was a Ring Edge game. Or no, it was Ring. I don't fucking know. Arcade hardware is weird as shit.
Ring Wide, something like that. Sega has some crazy
Sega has too
naming
many
shit.
fucking things. It's wild. It's too many. Now I'm looking at my fucking fighting games list and I'm like, which one of these games do I want to see get rollback netcode? And for whatever reason, Steam
All of them.
lists Star Wars, Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy under fighting games. So that's
Yo,
my answer.
Jedi Academy needs a
Yeah,
rollback
yo,
netcode.
can you imagine having those lightsaber duels with like good netcode? You had to play that shit on 56K DSL if you were lucky.
I need it.
That actually
need
be
it.
godlike. Fuck.
Now, see me in the Jedi Academy. Don't come at me with some Terrace
Do
Kasi
not-
bullshit.
If you don't bow to me before we start a duel, you have no honor. I will
Zero
not fight you
honor.
again.
There's gonna be some like old Seth Killian fucking
Domination 101.
SRK article. Yeah, Domination 102. Don't bow at the beginning of the fucking rollback release of Jedi Academy. If your opponent does it, they're a scrub, and you get a free kill, free win.
Absolutely savage. Ugh.
We take those.
We take those. See me at Evo, main stage, finals day for Jedi Academy.
Next to the Type Lumina players.
Let's go. Oh. God damn. So I know we wanted to talk about Monster Hunter a bit. As well as some other game related things. We should probably jump into that before I just go completely even further off the rails.
Our Jedi Academy podcast.
It's all about Kyle Katarn.
Jedi.
We have a Kyle Katarn focused centric podcast all about how he should get
love
more
Kyle.
love.
Moldy Crow
Yes.
for life.
That means nothing to
Talk
me.
about Kyle and Jan
But, you know, I'm
Ors.
ha-
It's gonna rule.
Anyway,
So-
let's talk about Monster Hunter. Because
So what kind of Monster Hunter players do we have here? I believe 2 of y'all are like mad into this game, correct?
I've been playing Monster Hunter since Try on the Wii,
Yeah.
and I think I've played every release. I skipped the Generations games where they gave you like the styles and everything, but I think I've played every release outside of that.
I played For You on the 3DS,
Mhm.
and then my path was like For You on 3DS, which I got like halfway through the game, which that's a lot of content for that game, but I wasn't really playing with anyone. Then I jumped to World. Then I joined up with a group of people to play GU, which is on the Switch. And then now I'm on Rise.
Nice.
So
Nick, what is your? Or I don't know if you're lame or Nick on here. I forgot you
Yes,
did give your government
I gave
name
my
one
government.
time.
Yeah, we're
Nick,
good.
What's your Monster Hunter history?
So, I want to say that I actually played a very small amount of the original Monster Hunter on PS2. It was definitely
Ouch.
like a game that my friend had, and we played it a bit, and we're like, wow, this game sucks. Fucking trash game.
it's certainly an experience.
It's not a good
I've been
time.
I've been forced to go to a friend's place, and they're like, "You want to play a bad video game?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then they made me play Monster Hunter 1.
Damn.
I wonder if there's a server that you can play that game on.
I hope not.
Oh my god.
But past that, like the first one, like I would say, like I actually played and owned was actually 3 Ultimate on 3DS, and then I did pick up Generations, but I was always super casual with it. 3 Ultimate I really didn't stick with too much. I had friends who tried to get me to play, but didn't really have a good time playing with them, so I didn't really end up sticking with it. Generations I played a bit with Jess, but we didn't really, I don't think I ever like hit credits on that game. And then I picked up Worlds when that came out. I played that a lot, but it was pretty much like I beat the game. I beat like the core game. I did a few of like the limited time events, but then also fell off. So I don't know. I mean, and I'm not like complaining about that. I don't see that as like a bad thing. I think I just have a very casual relationship with Monster Hunter. And I think I'm pretty happy with it just being a casual relationship.
I think that's,
Cool.
that's
So
interesting for me because I think this series in particular is not kind to casual players or to new players. Like for someone like Gordon or I think that there's you have to get over a certain hurdle for a lot of things to make sense. And there's been some discourse over the past couple of weeks with Rise coming out with a couple of particular articles that were trying to really hash out and struggling to come to a consensus on whether or not this game was actually good for new players or casual players. Because my feeling of it is I was able to come to Rise and I felt, pretty competent with the core of what Monster Hunter sort of is. You get a monster, you hunt it, you strip its body for bones and skin, and you build weapons to hunt other monsters. But even I felt kind of overwhelmed at the beginning, and even when I was playing with a friend of the pod, fellow member of the Yay Space, Rhett and Hannah. I was struggling for a while to figure out, like, how do we get multiplayer to work? Like, how do I join your game and all that? So, yeah, it's interesting. I feel like I very rarely hear someone say that they are a casual fan of the series. It's usually just the people that are into it are very into it, and it seems like there isn't much else that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of like all or nothing thinking with this game. Personally, I bought Try because it came with the cool, nice looking controller for the Wii. I fucking hated that game. I thought it was really bad. I was like, this game is clunky. This game does not feel good to play. And where are my big combos? I like Devil May Cry. I'm the average stylish action enjoyer, and I'm hating on this thing. But I've been playing Rise a little bit and trying to just like, I don't know if it's maybe like a decade of methodical Dark Souls combat type games that have gotten me to like be cool with slowing my roll a little bit and like doing the dodge or doing the block instead of just like going ham with the controller. But while I'm enjoying the things that you do in the game, I also feel a little overwhelmed with just like all of the subsystems and all of the menu options. And, whereas I kind of get what you're saying. Rhett said this earlier in group chat, being like, oh, they got like drop tables and they've got, some other things that kind of like help you play the game, but that doesn't really help you learn the game. Mm-hmm. It probably helps people who have had a little bit of like game knowledge under their belt from playing an older game. They're like, nice, I know what to do. I know what monsters to hit and how long I'm really gonna have to grind this. Whereas I'm just like, how do I do my super cool combo again? You got to hit these three, but oh shit, I died. Oh shit, I got hit.
That's really the piece that I got, and it came up on, since this is in part an Austin Walker fan podcast, it came up on their discussion as well between Austin and Kato, of people saying like, this game is great for beginners, and it is definitely not. Because it's cool if you're at a certain point where you're like, oh, the drop tables are there and weaknesses are there, but you have to know to look for that.
Yeah.
You have to kind of learn a certain point and have been onboarded to a certain point before those quality of life changes that are really appealing to me as somebody who's been playing for a while, but those don't matter for somebody who's brand new. There was an article on Kotaku which was written from the perspective of somebody that I bought this game, I jumped online, and I felt totally lost. And some of the feedback on that was like, well, you should have done all the single-player tutorials and everything, which yeah, okay. But that's, I think, a very valid experience of I bought the game, I tried to jump online, and was totally overwhelmed. That's probably not an uncommon experience, really.
No, not at all.
And it's...
And I actually had... What was it? There was a specific online mode in... I don't know if it's in all of them, or if it was just in like Generations or something. But there was a specific online mode in Generations where I think it was meant to have like a full party of people, but the game doesn't tell you that. So it was just like me and Jess trying to fight something, and it's like, this is like a fucking low rank monster. We've been fighting it for 30, 40 minutes now. Like, it should be dead. And so there's things like the game does not, historically the series does not do a great job of conveying information. And I think that's why, I mean, it still has a gigantic fan base, and I think that's awesome. But I think a lot of people fall off it because of that. And that's like, earlier today in Discord, I compared it to Tekken because of that. Like, Tekken does a fucking dog shit job of onboarding new players who have no history with the game. But somehow the game still has a lot of popularity, and I also love to watch that game.
Going back to you mentioning how you're like doing a 2-player fight against a monster in like a multiplayer setting, one thing that the game doesn't tell you, like at least for that version, is that there's HP scaling, and the way like, well, it's like stat scaling or whatever, but the way that works is that like the game would only scale between 1 player and 4 players, if I recall.
I think that was correct
so,
with
like,
Generations.
If you have 2 players, so if you have 2 players, you're actually doing a fight that is scaled for 4 players, which is why it probably takes too long.
The game does, and that's something you should really know.
They start fixing that for World, where I don't think that's even true for like Base World, but I know for a fact that it's there for Iceborne, where it's scaled to 1, 2, and 4. They skip 3.
Why?
I mean, look, if you've got 2 friends, you've got 3 friends. One of those friends has a friend.
3 friends, you've got 4 friends. And if you've got 4 friends, you can light up a gymnasium. And if you can light up a no.
What?
Pete Buttigieg loves Monster Hunter.
I was like, where were you going with this? And then you brought back the Rap Lord.
I was gonna say there's no rat monsters in Monster Hunter. That's why he likes it. He's like, yes.
Yet.
Anyway,
It's like there might be a rat monster in Monhun. I gotta think
I don't know if
about
there
it.
is.
I don't think there is.
I don't know if there is. That's actually... They should just pull the rat boss from Dark Souls 2.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
just a bunch of rats.
Yeah, just a bunch of rats. So in Rise, they actually did make it so that there is scaling for every player count.
Nice.
Yeah, it's cool to see that, but I think your experience, Nick, is kind of what I'm thinking about in getting to this idea of like games and communicating information, in particular in the context of Monster Hunter. I imagine that if I were in that position and I were to have spent 30 minutes on a fight and then feel like I was getting nothing for it, and then only later on find out that the game didn't tell me that it was designed for full party of 4 people, I probably wouldn't touch that game again. I would be very frustrated, and I would probably put it down, and I'd probably go play Xenoblade Chronicles.
That's what I'm talking about. Fuck this podcast. I gotta play Xenoblade. It's Reyn Time, baby.
No.
I just started scooting away like I could
Finish
just
with
go
us.
grab my Switch right now. That would be...
You could.
How great of a bit would that be? Lamo just leaves the podcast mid-show to play Xenoblade.
Everyone
2 of
else
us are now holding our Switches on the podcast. Hold on. I think we've got a
Hold
whole
up,
party
hold up,
of
hold
Switch
up.
players, average Switch enjoyers right here.
I got
Nick is going.
the split pads, by the way.
Oh,
This
nice.
like,
Hell yeah.
they're
Damn, those
they're
look
sizable.
good.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. Dear listeners,
looks pretty
Gordon
fucking
has the Hori split pads for the Switch that make it seem like it's a beefier console. It's like an actual Pro controller, but split in half. and it
Yo,
looks
Nick's
real
got 'em
good.
too.
Yeah.
It's almost
you have
like
the David Ex Machina ones,
having
don't
the
you?
Xbox Dukes. No, these are just the basic black
Oh, I thought
ones.
it's the black and red. I thought that was for...
Yeah, they're probably similar color scheme. I legitimately thought they only made them for Daemon X Machina, but they decided to produce them normally, and that's cool because my Joy-Con has drifted once again.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I decided that they drifted off my Switch, and I just got these instead.
Oh, that's good.
Can you put the split pads on the little like doggy controller thing and like
They don't
have
work
it be a
remote. They don't work remote.
They have to be connected. But anyway,
I
Monster
guess that
Hunter.
makes sense.
They're probably really good for Monster Hunter.
Probably.
Absolutely.
They definitely feel a lot better playing with these on Monster Hunter than with the normal Joy-Cons, I think. But anyway, we were where were we at again?
Also,
We were talking about...
before we go to the topic, you can also... It still fits on the dock with these, too. Which, like, that's actually a big sell for me. Sorry.
Hori, get at us.
Hori, get at... Give me that Hori money!
Get at us. That was an ad reel right there. That was a genuine ad read. Look at that enthusiasm. It's almost like it wasn't planned.
Wow.
So there are some moments where this game doesn't really respect your time in some ways, is what it sounds like.
That's like
And
how
they're getting better at it, but
and you
still
don't,
not all the way there.
and sometimes you don't know when you're in one of those moments. And
Yeah.
that's a thing that has consistently, like, at least something that I have seen come up consistently, is people go to, and there are 2 ways to enter a quest. You can either get it from the village or you can get it from the multiplayer hub. But if you aren't really paying attention, you might realize that you are entering into the multiplayer quests, which even when they're scaled for 1 person, are much harder.
Oh, fuck.
Yo, they are.
And especially for a new player, that's who's going to fuck up and make that mistake.
I did that in Worlds,
And
yeah.
so-
I was
did
like,
that.
yo, this cool ass boat up here. I could just I could just vibe up here at this boat all day? Hell yeah. And then I was like, oh wait, I'm getting my shit pushed in.
Yeah. And it's I've been thinking about what does good on it made me think about what does good onboarding look like in a game like this. And I like that Nick also brought up Tekken, because I think fighting games in general suffer from the same problem in general of just not being good at onboarding new players. even the basic tutorials tend to take a lot of things for granted, like things like a jump cancel. That does not mean anything to a person who doesn't have a certain level of experience in fighting games.
So I think it's funny because I know earlier today when we were kind of talking about topics, when we were talking about onboarding in fighting games, I brought up Guilty Gear Rev 2, and half an hour before we started recording, I went back to play through that tutorial. And, like, there's definitely some things they could probably get rid of in there, but it actually does do a decent job of explaining jump cancels and stuff. And I was pleasantly, because I remember being like, wow, this is a really good tutorial, but I also haven't played it in, like, however many years. So I should go back and give it a shot. And, like, yeah, it goes to, like, hey, here's how you can build Gatlings. Here's how Gatlings are different from regular combos. And how, like, hey, sometimes scaling might affect things differently. And here's what scaling is. But yeah, pleasantly surprised in that, and it's such an important thing to have a good tutorial now. I think for a while there's a trend of a lot of games doing auto combos into super, which Guilty Gear still has that with stylish mode in Exard, which is fine. I don't particularly care for that kind of stuff. But I could definitely see the appeal of, hey, I'm a new player. I just want to, get someone interested enough by being able to do something flashy to be like, okay, well, maybe I should actually learn how to play this game. Like I like it. I'm getting the good brain chemicals right now. How do I keep that train going, and how do I get better? But I don't know.
I don't know if I agree with that.
The idea
especially in the case
that
of stylish mode. So stylish mode means that in Guilty Gear, there's an alternative control sequence where rather than having to do the more complicated motions to do a special move, you have a dedicated button, right? And it's if you press the button in conjunction, kind of like Smash Brothers, actually. Mm-hmm. It gives you different options. But for me, it's like, I don't think that's really good onboarding because it's kind of pulling people, it's attracting new players. Like, here's the thing for you. But then it puts them in a different lane.
I don't. So, and sorry, I'll let you continue. I have thoughts.
No, go off. Because your thoughts are important.
I always wonder, and like I know I just said like, oh well, they do flashy stuff, and they think, maybe I should try and pick it up. I feel like the conversion rate for people who are starting to play on stylish mode to then actually going to learn how to play the game normally, that's got to be like less than 0.5% of people. So realistically, I don't think it's actually, I mean, and maybe that's on me for trying to interpret what the idea or point is behind a certain thing. Like maybe it is just to get people to pick it up and, saying, okay, people aren't going to bother playing it, but I don't know. Fighting games are weird.
Yeah, and they are weird. And I feel like the Rev 2 tutorial is kind of what I'm more feeling in terms of like what does good onboarding look like, and the thing that where you can break down information into a very basic way. So again, listener, the way the tutorial in Guilty Gear Rev 2 works is that it's played out almost like a mini game where you run to one side of the screen and there are obstacles, and it's like, hey, we're going to teach you how to move, and you just run to the other side. And then the next time it's like, now run to the other side of the screen, but there's an obstacle in the center that you have to jump over. Then maybe you have to go back over, but the obstacle is higher, and yet it teaches you how to double jump. And that's how it sort of builds things up, if I remember correctly. Yeah. Which is a good way to do things. It's gamified, it's fun, and it's also teaching people very important fundamental parts of playing that game. And I really wish that Monster Hunter Rise, going back to the point of departure, kind of does do that. There's a section in the beginning of the game where your Ninja Lord master, who's kind of a huge dork, is like, come here dork. And I'll teach you how to wire zip. And that's like, it's good. It's a cool thing. And I was like, oh, this is like an interesting piece of content. But basically it lasts for a couple minutes. Then it's like, you're good, right? Bye.
Now here's a 15,000 more subsystems and like shitty like 2-page tutorials to read.
And they're not helpful. And the tutorials, again, they break up the flow of the game. Mm-hmm. You have to sit and stop and read the text and all that. And they also don't really force you to do anything hands-on. I think that...
I forget all of them instantly.
Yeah, you forget. Even I forget them instantly. And I find myself being like, man, how do I do that again? Like, wait, I want to do this thing. How do I make that happen? Which is, even for an experienced player, frustrating. And I've been thinking, like, what does better content look like? And I think whether it's Rev 2 or in Rise, flushing out sort of a gamified experience that incorporates systems and ramps up. Like in Monster Hunter, for example, maybe one of the parts is that you have to go to the chest to get a weapon. Maybe you're in the training mode and you're learning the weapon tutorial. Then all of a sudden, oh no, a bunch of small monsters invade. And it's like, you need to go get your weapon from the chest. So you have to go pick out a weapon. And then it has the combo and move prompts showing up while you're fighting these small monsters or something like that. And that could be a way of introducing combat. And then it's like, oh no, the small monsters are here. That means the bigger monster must be nearby. And now we need to go hunt the big monster, and kind of giving you sort of a narrative ramp up as well. Something like that could help a lot, but I don't know. I don't really know what. It's frustrating. And it's hard for me to imagine because I'm at a point where there's enough distance between where I am and a total beginner that it's hard to remember what that experience would have been like and what would have been helpful.
Well, here's a total beginner. I've pretty much am a total beginner to this game. I think when it comes to good onboarding, it's not enough to just say, here's what to do, or here's, how to do the thing. But like, why do I care? Why do I need to know this? Is it because it's a really important function of how this game works? Or are you just showing me like that I can buy scrolls for my room? That doesn't really mean anything to me, but like some real combat tutorials, why you should do this thing, how it affects your different gauges, what those gauges are really doing for you in the length of a fight, that would mean a lot more to me. And I had to go to the hunter info to like see all that and read 3 pages of Gunlance stuff, and I'm like, oh, this weapon actually has a lot more going on, and I think it's really cool, and I wish that the game would like show me that whenever I pick it up, or in some sort of like scripted fight sequence where you have to choose from a couple weapons and it tells you like, a quick 1-sentence description of them, and those move prompts, those, descriptions of why these combos are worth doing and caring about, instead of just like, yeah, you picked a weapon, right? Okay, well, go see the master for your next quest, which is not the tutorial anymore.
And some experienced players are like, that's what I want. I want it to give me some basic info, get out of my way. And that's refreshing. I think another way you could do that is like, hey, given the narrative buildup of Monster Hunter, particularly Rise, it's that you're a person in this village, there are monsters aboot, and you have to usually defend the village from maybe some apex predator that's in your ecosystem and shouldn't be there, and it's disrupting things. There could be a lead in there where it's like, oh, you're new to this village. Are you an experienced hunter? Yes, no. And now you even have an immersive world building exercise where you say no, and then it gives you maybe more expanded tutorial content versus if you say yes, like, oh, well, the chest to pick your weapon is over there, and you can go get a quest over here, and you already know all this. You've done all this somewhere else.
That would be that. I'm sure that would really hit both types of needs for players. For the new player to be like, yeah, I need the onboarding, and for the player who's played World and Generations and Try and the PSP games, it's like, get the fuck out of my way. I just want to hunt the mons. I'm trying to get to high rank.
Yeah. It would also be a narrative lead-in for a new player to be like, this is why you should care, and why you shouldn't feel too bad when you kill the monster, but you should feel pretty bad.
Yeah, I should feel pretty bad.
Think about it.
Don't think too deeply about it. It's better than World. World was explicitly, we are colonizing this place, and the native flora and fauna are a problem. We need you to kill them.
This jungle ecosystem.
Yeah.
You actually were the monster. I know it's like a joke among the community, like, oh, I'm the real monster, but in World, you were the monster.
You were the monster until Devil Joe rolls up, the devil pickle that just
oh my god,
breathes death fire and destroys everything.
That sounds like a real monster.
That was a terrifying
Yeah, but we're
part
actually
of
not
that
that. You're not that different.
We are the Devil Joe.
You are the Devil Joe.
We are the devil pickle.
Yeah, they made it even worse in Iceborne too. They were like, there was some like themes of colonialism that were a little bit uncomfortable in a world. We're going to quadruple down on those. Actually, the flagship monster is in the narrative, in the little cutscenes. If you watch them, the flagship monster, I want to say his name was Volcana. This big ice dragon is an elder dragon that is only awoken when the land is in great peril. You are the great peril. Though
great
it is
peril.
the it is the immune system of this island and ecosystem trying to preserve itself against your encroachment. And you shoot it in the chest with a cannon.
Damn, you should feel bad.
I felt terrible the whole time I was playing Iceborne. It was actually a nice shift to go back to, you're in a quaint rural village, and we live in harmony with nature, but sometimes nature gets hecked up.
Nature do be hecking up
Nature,
sometimes.
Nature do be
nature's
hecking
wild. Nature's like fucked up sometimes.
Nature is fucked up
Nature's fucked
sometimes.
sometimes.
So as a new player, I want to talk about something I really enjoy about the new Monster Hunter. I told y'all that like I thought the old games were just way too slow, but like you get on that dog and you move around and you can use the whetstone.
You can
on
ride the dog?
and
Mhm.
you can ride the dog. You can do like gathering stuff with it. You know, you just like run right by an herb, you press A, you pick it up. You don't have, there's like auto crafting stuff for some smaller things. You can use the whetstone on the dog, so it's, you know, not really, if you're in a multi-phase fight and you got to use the whetstone, it's not like taking an extra 5 seconds out of your day. You start booking it and you're just like, all right, dog, you take me there. The wire bug system rules. They gave you a tech roll.
Yeah.
This game has a motherfucking tech roll and it's sick. Like, I'm going to tech roll because I just got hit because I'm fucking bad at this game, and like immediately swig a potion and get back in there. And wire bug to get back in there and stab him in the face.
You get to be Spider-Man in this game, and it rules.
You
Yep.
get to be Spider-Man, and it fucking owns.
Oh, you want to put down
yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Shulk doesn't get to be Spider-Man,
Put down your Monado and grab a longsword.
I mean,
which is also a longsword.
Grab your not named longsword.
should have named that Palico Reyn. No.
It's Reyn Time.
You get renamed.
Oh well.
You can.
Fuck. All right.
You get renamed.
All right.
I had a name for my owl, and then I renamed my owl. Also, you can name the owl.
You have
by
an
the way,
owl?
if you
Oh,
haven't
yeah.
done that.
You have an
Yeah,
owl.
you have an owl.
Also,
So
you
many
can
literally-
goodies.
Literally, I have made my character. I have named my animal friends, my dog, and my cat, and then I closed the game and went back to play Xenoblade Chronicles for my Nintendo Switch.
That
You
was
can-
like a little bit after. But
You
I named mine Hutori Hanzo.
Oh, that's a sick name. That's a good name.
Oh my god, that needs to be Rhett's name for something. Who's Sorry Hanzo?
Whose story?
Oh my god, that's great. I named my crew really, really original names. My name is Jarv. The Palamoot's name is Jarv Dog. The cat's
Jarv
name
Cat.
is Jarv Cat. And the bird's name is Jarv Bird.
That's like a Sentai team.
So you can't name your Palico after one of your cat. You have two cats. You can't.
Yeah, like if I called it Peanut, Jellybean would be like, the fuck?
I usually name my
what the
Palicos
fuck?
Erwin.
Fuck you.
Because I love Erwin.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I love my little boy.
I love Erwin too.
We all love her.
Freya's I made Freya, and she's a heel cat.
she's,
Aw, hi Freya.
she's an attack
She
cat
don't
right
look like
now.
she's going to heal you right now. Yeah.
I did the thing. I made my dog,
Oh, of course.
and
Yeah.
thank God they actually have her like exact fur pattern in the game, so she
Hell
looks
yeah.
like
Oh,
my
nice.
Palamoot looks like my dog,
Hell yeah.
and it's
Aw.
incredible. I get to play dress up and put special armor on her, and every now and then I was playing with the English voice, so my hunter would be like, "Way to go! It's a good dog," and I'm just like, "She is a good dog. She is a very good dog."
Oh, so I'm also very new to the series, and I hit up the Yace Discord, and I was like, what the fuck is Monster Hunter language? And everyone's like, it's what it says on the tin, bro. It's Monster Hunter language.
Yeah, it's like Nier with Chaos Speak. They just have a language for this game.
Or like SimSpeak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking Simlish. This clown is finely shaved.
It's good. I don't know. I think I really like Rise. I think I like it. Pound for pound, I might say it's my favorite Monster Hunter. A lot for the same things that Jarv is saying. That the QOL is through the roof. And the pace of the gameplay, because you don't really stop to sharpen as much. Gathering is much faster. Everything about it is just very streamlined. It's like they took a lot of lessons and blended what the kind of tried and true formula with basically a stylish action game.
Yeah. You
Even
sold me
towards
on it.
the,
You were like, it's a stylish action game. You should buy it.
Uh-huh.
So I did.
even towards the end game, like Monster Hunter is like pretty notorious on like you have to kind of farm forever, but they at least made like the phase where you are beating up monsters to make equipment out of their bones. They made that part a bit faster, and then they're like, if you want to go even further than that, you can make talismans, and that's so annoying. You grind forever gotcha game of gaining skills and stuff. That's where all like the really annoying grinding is. But as far as just like getting equipment and stuff, that's for the most part easier and faster now, which is pretty nice. You don't have to go punch the M. Bison dog thing over and over and over. I don't want to deal with its beak driver and Psycho Crushers.
There's an M. Bison dog thing with a beak driver?
It's the flagship monster for Rise is M. Bison. It's funny, when the first time Gord said that, I was just like, I know exactly what monster you're talking about. He said, like, it's M. Bison.
Yep.
It has psycho power. It has purple flames.
Damn, that's sick. I can't wait to fuck that guy up.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah,
this place will become his gravy.
It's a good boy. I would say, I don't know if I'd recommend this. I'm trying to think, like, would I recommend this game to people? I think if you like this game and you like this franchise, you've probably already bought it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to recommend it. But to somebody who's totally new, I don't know if I would recommend it. I don't know if I would tell somebody, hey, you know what? You're going to have to buy this game, then go watch like a 15 to 20 minute YouTube video, and then you can play the game. And if that's a genuine thing I feel like I have to do, I don't think I want to recommend that to people.
Yeah, it's a game where you will have to look outside the game for a lot of information, because there's, besides just like even basic controls, because frankly, like in the game, when it shows you like the weapon controls, that's actually like not even that great of a resource, because like it doesn't actually like, it was like 3 basic combos and some stuff, but it doesn't like tell you anything like really besides like some really, really basic stuff. So on like how to even play it, it's just like, here's some buttons, good luck.
Yeah, I had to go to the hunter info, into the weapon info, and there it had like a couple pages of like, here's the different stances between the switch axe, and here's what the different types of shelling does for the gun lance, and like, it's information, it's data, like it tells you what it is, but like applying it is a little bit harder, and that's when you have to go to YouTube or a friend or a wiki. This is definitely a wiki game.
The other problem too is that like you'll find that a lot of data is, fortunately, like drop tables is like, that's actually really good and really fleshed out in the game, but in terms of like what do these numbers mean as far as like hitting things goes, like you're not really going to be getting that. For example, this time around I'm playing Hunting Horn, and there's like variations on these 2 attacks on this one. Well, there's a variation on this button, which is like direction X plus A, and one causes exhaustion, the other causes more stun. But I don't know like how much of either, because the game does not tell you how much stun or how much exhaustion each one does. So it's like, what does that mean? And then you start going to like the skill stuff, which is just like the number crunching, like is much harder to like figure out what any of the numbers necessarily mean when you're like trying to put things together. Like, do I want this? Do I want that? What does it even all mean? How much does like I'm dealing with? I want to put statuses on stuff. I want to put elements on stuff. There's numbers on that too. There's a lot of numbers. What does any of it mean? And in the game, it doesn't do a good job like telling you what any of that stuff does. So you kind of have to like look at resources outside of the game.
Yeah, it's a little frustrating.
Yeah, and not everyone really wants to go and try and dive into a lot of that information. I mean, I saw people on Twitter posting things like full damage breakdowns of like each weapon, like per combo and per hit, and it's like, this is in some case, I feel fortunate enough to not care enough about it. Like, listen, I'll just like, okay, hey, is this a combo I want to do for big damage? Okay, cool. I'll just do that combination when I can and some other stuff. Like, I don't care that much, and I feel like that is it. It's okay to not play completely perfectly optimally in more games.
Yeah.
Yeah, like like the stuff that I'm telling you is like definitely like a bit past like where a new player
Right.
would be interested in, but that's like going into the territory of like, okay, I am interested in the game. What does any of this mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Like moving on to the next step, and like if we're talking about like onboarding and stuff, like figuring out like trying to determine resources, like what the information means is like kind of a huge deficit into the game, because then you're getting to like, well, there's these people that have played 4 games, 8,000 hours each, that just know, generally speaking, what the system is trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Then it can just like give you an answer, but like that's again like looking outside of the game, where the information is, rather than like in the game, because the game just doesn't do a good job like telling you like what things means numerically, or like, okay, like let's say you can do 40% more stun. Okay, like
compared to what? And how far do I need to go?
What's my base stun rate? How much
stun
if
do
I hit
I
someone
need
with
to
actually
six
stun
moves,
something?
what does that mean?
Yeah.
So it sounds like for a new player, if you're net new and you know literally no one else who plays this game, you look at some videos and see if you like really want to get into it. If you have some friends that play this game and you're willing to do a little bit of time investment outside of your Switch, we kind of recommend, like, it's a cool game. Check it out.
Yep. I think it's neat, but I think,
cool.
Kind of going hand in hand with what we're saying, just, know what you're in for.
Yeah.
But in the meantime...
Just because it's the new game with a couple new, like, stylish-looking things doesn't mean that it's, like, so streamlined and so slick. They did some, but not all. They've made some progress, but it's not a new game.
Right.
Otherwise, I guess at this point, it wouldn't be Monster Hunter.
But I'm looking forward to eventually getting it started whenever Xenoblade gets its claws out of me.
Yeah, beat it or delete it and play with us.
No, I have a long way to go.
We will see when you are ready to Monster Hunter Rise Up.
Rise up.
Until then.
But until then, as Morgan put it, I believe that's going to do it for this week's episode of the YASEcast. Thank you to everyone for being on. Thank you, Jarv, Morgan, and Gord. Love all y'all. Tell me, where can the people find you? Let's just start with you, Jarv. You're going wide-eyed over there.
Sure, you can find me and apparently my Palamute over at JarvDog, DAWG on Twitter. And don't forget to join the Yase Discord. Yase
there you go. Morgan, where can the people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Morganization13.
Gord, where can the people come across you?
They can't. No, they can't. But you can find me on Twitter at TKShadow, where instead of the O, it's a 0.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that. One day, I will go beat up the person that owns the normal
someone
TK
else is
Shadow
fucking
account.
sitting on TKShadow with an O?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And they have like 3 tweets from like
that shit's the
2012
worst.
or something.
That shit's the worst.
Listeners, go at that person and like
No,
cyberbully them.
don't legitimize their account.
We condone cyberbullying.
Don't cyberbully.
shit.
That's not okay.
Well, it depends.
All right, listeners, if you're gonna cyberbully anybody, there's this one VTuber I hate. Her name is Ricky Hirsch. Go fuck her up. Go say mean things to her on the internet. She sucks.
You should go to her stream and say some words. Not necessarily strongly worded messages, but just words.
I went to @TKShadow, by the way. It is 3 tweets from 2012, and it's definitely a bot. It's
Yep.
time to make
Oh,
big
no.
money. And then it has the URL. What are you guys doing? This one that makes money from home. It explains it to CNBC. And then the oldest one is just, be your own boss, you idiots. And then a scam link again.
That might be the Be Your Own Boss, you idiots. That might be the episode title.
Idiots.
Be your own boss, idiot.
Idiot.
Oh.
And you can find me at on Twitter at lamo_SD. Thank you all for listening to episode 44 of the YASEcast. And remember, as always, it don't cost shit to be nice. Take it easy. We will see you next time.